today on my topic, I chose to go on string floss versus floss picks. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and we're going to talk about how both flossing can affect your gums and how your gums can recede if you don't floss properly, or you can cut your gums and some bad things can happen, like bacteria being trapped underneath the tooth structure, and then that can cause caries and stuff. So we're just going to talk about some fun, effective ways to floss your teeth, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about what gum recession is, how it happens, and how you can prevent it from either occurring, and then sometimes it can get worse, so we're trying to prevent it from getting worse. And then we are also going to talk about flossing effectiveness. So that is just where you can be the best possible way of treating your teeth and flossing your teeth and being very effective with which floss technique you choose to use when you floss your teeth. And then also time management. We're going to talk about how flossing can take a little bit longer if you use string floss versus pick floss. So overall, my thesis is string floss is a better interdental cleaning agent versus floss picks. And the reason why I say this is because the C shape that you make when you floss, here's a little picture demonstration, you'll make a giant C and it'll wrap around the tooth, and this helps get food and bacteria out from underneath your gums. And so it's a really good way to remove any bacteria that can be trapped, because typically toothbrushing isn't enough to remove any bacteria and all the stuff that can get trapped in between your teeth because your teeth are so tight together. So for the first point that we're going to talk about is cost. So for cost, floss picks, typically if you go to Dollar Tree, they're like $1 pack, like $1.25, $1.36 now with tax. But most name brand flossers can run up to $5 floss picks. So they're pretty pricey, whereas string floss, most people have a regular dental office that they go to every 6 months, and the dental office actually provides free string floss for all their patients. So it's very common for even people who can't afford home care or certain things as far as cost goes, that string floss tends to be a better alternative, and it's also a cheaper route because most Dollar Trees and Walmarts typically only sell it for $1 if you get your little pack. And then we'll talk more about effectiveness of flossing. So for string floss, like I said, it's that C shape. So when you wrap around the tooth, you want to make sure you're making that nice pretty curve. It's going to look just like a C or a U, and it's going to get right underneath the gum line, and you have to be really gentle. So you're not popping it in and out of your contacts. You're going to be very gentle, and you'll kind of glide it into your teeth, so then all the food can get out. And then the biggest thing is string floss. You don't want to keep popping it in and out versus the floss picks where you pop, pop, pop. You can cut your gums and it's really dangerous. So you want to be the best effective technique you can use, and you don't want to hurt yourself or cause any trauma to your gums, because recession can occur because of all the bacteria that can get trapped within the blood and stuff. Your gums will start receding. Okay, and then we'll talk more about effectiveness with the tooth pick, or floss picks. So most people just pop them in and out. The biggest thing is that you cut your gums. So we want to be really gentle, and we want to be able to go in and out very nice, and we try to glide it in. Just like string floss, you glide it in. You don't want to pop it in and out. You can cut your gums, bacteria can get trapped, all that bad stuff. So we don't want that to happen to you guys. So the biggest thing there to prevent bacteria and, just gingivitis, all these things, we don't want that to happen. So we typically will get off of that. And then we'll talk about time management. So the biggest thing someone can argue is floss picks are just overall, oh, they're better, they're faster, they're quick, da 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 da. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your teeth. It's important that your teeth remain healthy. I'm sure a lot of people would like to keep their teeth when they're in their 40s. So the biggest thing is just make sure you're doing your oral hygiene, you brush twice a day, you use that mouth rinse, and you effectively floss. It's very important you effectively floss. You make that C shape, or you gently use your floss picks. You don't pop them in and out. You don't cut your gums. You're not so aggressive with it. And if you do cut your gums, use your mouth rinse right after, because that's going to remove any of that bacteria that's trapped underneath your gums while it's bleeding or anything irritation there. So I have a few visual aids on this lovely little presentation poster here. So as I already posted here, this is the C shape that you're going to use when you do floss. And then I have a little comparison of string floss versus floss picks. And then I have a little visual aid of like what typically string floss looks like in a normal brand. This is a brand we use in our clinic, it's Reach. And then this is a brand I use commonly at home. It's a Precision. This is Floss Picks. And this is typically found at Dollar Tree for $1.36 with tax and all that good stuff. And then we have a few demonstrations here of different brands and fun stuff, like her showing how to floss with her floss pick, and then string floss area here, just different brands of that. And there was a lot of fun stuff that I learned in my research about the history of how floss happened and everything. So we've been using floss for over 200 years. Like, it's been different stuff. Like, we've used nylon at first during the war, like before the war, and then after the war we started using silk instead to floss in between your teeth. So it's really cool to actually know all the things that we used to use before floss even became, because floss is now wax coated, so that usually helps prevent any cutting, versus back then you used silk, so it's a little bit more of a chance of recession. And so with gum recession, we're going to talk more about that. So that is where your gums start receding. You'll be able to see more of your roots if it gets to a certain extent. So with that, gum recession, the biggest thing you can prevent is, one, oral hygiene, really good oral hygiene. The other thing is brushing effectively. You can brush your teeth too hard and cause recession. You can brush really, really, really hard. You're thinking you're doing right. You're thinking you're doing good, but you're not. You're really hurting your teeth, and your gums are running away from how hard you're brushing. So there's a lot of mechanical factors that come in that can cause it. Smoking can cause it. What you eat can cause it. Certain things will make recession worse. If you have any tooth extractions or anything like that, your bone structure is already weakened and gone for the most part, and it's going to wear away as you age. So there's a lot of things to factor in gum recession, because your gums are still important even after you take out all your teeth, and maybe you have dentures, maybe you have implants. It's still very important to take care of your gums. So that's what I really wanted to educate y'all guys on today, is that gum recession is really, really a strong factor in periodontal disease and gingivitis and bleeding, and it's very dangerous. So we want to make sure that all of our patients get the best care and we're using our flossing techniques effectively. So overall today, the thing I want to go over is just make sure y'all guys floss effectively. So to me, string floss is overall the better product versus pick floss, just because you can make that C shape. It gets the bacteria out better. You can move it around so you don't have to keep flossing the food back inside. When you think about it, your floss pick gets food on it, and if you don't rinse it off, you're just going to keep pushing food back into your gums. It's really gross, so we don't want that happening. So overall, string floss is better than floss picks, and at effectively getting rid of bacteria underneath your gums and reducing gingival recession, bleeding, and also just promoting that good oral hygiene health. And that is all for today. So thank you for watching.